Hey everybody, Chef Neely from the Cook's Warehouse here, and today I am here to bring you a very highly requested video, and that is how to make easy peasy chicken stock. I make stock all the time. I've been making stock for years. I've been teaching cooking classes for years, and to me, making it from scratch is the easiest way to use up leftover chicken bones, use up weird carrots dying in your refrigerator. So I'm constantly making it, and I'd like to kind of consider myself a pro now. And one thing I think is that people are really scared of it, that they think it's harder than it is. And in my chicken stock, we have no rules. Like, okay, we have a couple of rules, but not a lot of them. It's really not scary at all. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of my tips and tricks. So Ashley, if you wanna follow me to the refrigerator, we're gonna go do a little clear out session here. I've been squirreling away some chicken bones just for this video. Let's see what we have in the refrigerator first. A lot of stuff. Okay. So here are some stock parts, and by stock parts I mean I've got some wings in here. I have a chicken back. We taught a virtual chicken cacciatore class last week, and I asked the chef to break down the chicken and then save all those leftover pieces for me. So this is perfect for making stock. Throw that over there. See some celery. Perfect. Throw that over there. I wonder if we have any onions. There's an odd shallot. Great. Yes. Done. It's so satisfying. Clean out. We've got some oregano and some thyme. I love putting thyme in there, so let's go with that. And let's move down to the freezer. That's awkward. All right, so one of my favorite tricks is what I call stock bags. And this is, I keep these in the freezer all the time for odds and ends. And then when I'm ready to make stock, I can just pull my stock bags out and I'm ready to go. Let's see what else I've got. There's some chicken pieces. So this is a great time if you do rotisserie chickens to always save the bones, throw them in a freezer bag and toss them in your freezer till you're ready to make stock. I think like 2 chicken carcasses from rotisserie chickens make a beautiful, beautiful stock. All right, so shall we take a deep dive into the stock bags? There's really not a lot I don't save, as you'll find out. So whenever I cut off the tips of my onions, that I save that, the paper, any like stray parsley I don't end up using. I always save my parsley stems. Great in stock. Look, there's some little mushroom stems in here that I saved for a rainy day. There's probably some stray garlic in there. Tiny garlic cloves that are good for nothing. Save those for your stock. Okay. We're gonna just use all this. If you're feeling like it, you can rinse it. Truth, I don't always. I mean, if it looks particularly dirty, I'll rinse it, but usually I'm kind of lazy. I'm a lazy chef. All right, I don't particularly care. As long as you've got a couple of stalks of celery, you're good to go. It doesn't have to be 3 stalks of celery. All right, I've got a half an onion. I've got some bell peppers from a class. I'm actually not gonna use those. I don't love bell peppers in my stock. A little too acidic. I'll find out, I'll figure something out to use for those. Here's some more bits and bobs. I think that's like some zucchini. I've never put zucchini in my stock, but let's do it today and see what happens. All right, making a big old mess with our chicken bits. That's like the livers. We're not gonna put that in our stock. So we'll put all this in. And we're gonna put all this in. This is frozen bag. Real stuff happening here. Okay. Let's wash my hands first. Let's just go all in. If you have some carrots, like proper carrots, throw those in. Usually I'll do a whole head of garlic if I have it, but I only had those little weird bits. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff in the pot. Let's fill it up with water. All right. Okay, so Ashley, if you want to zoom over, I just filled the pot with water. You don't have to measure how much, just fill it up. And now I'm just gonna get my heat on. By the way, this is a 16-quart Hammerstall. This is my favorite stock pot on the planet because it's 16 quarts. So you can make so much. And I like that it's wide, not tall. I feel like you get good evaporation in this. So it's just my preferred stock pot. It's a splurge. Ashley, what's the price?
$3.69.
$3.69. But you can make pasta in here. You can make soups and stews. I mean, you can use this forever and for everything. So again, Hammerstall 16 quart. Love it. So we're gonna turn this on. And with stock, we wanna bring it to a gentle boil and then kind of turn it down to a simmer. So I'm gonna get it on. I'm just crank it up for now. I also like to do some salt and pepper in mine. We're not trying to make it salty because we want it to be a very neutral flavor. But a little bit of salt helps bring out the flavors of the vegetables that are already in there. This is my Kuhn Rikon ratchet grinder. Clearly, you've probably seen it by now in every single video I've made because they're awesome. Some pepper. All right, so we're gonna let this simmer all day. We'll check back in about an hour so you can look at it then and just see how kind of it keeps getting better and better. I love to make this on a Sunday morning where I know I'm gonna be at the house and I can just let it go until Sunday night. 4 hours is gonna be a really good stock. 8 hours is gonna be a fantastic stock. 12 hours is gonna be like the best. You can also make this in a pressure cooker. So you can throw all these ingredients in, whether it's a stovetop or a multi-cooker, and about 45 minutes to an hour, and you're gonna get results that taste like you cooked it for 12 hours. So you've got an Instapot or a Zavor, that's what we like around here. You can use that really easily. So we'll see you in a few. Okay, so an hour check-in, and I wish you could smell the store right now because people keep walking in and just freaking out and saying we just got told it smelled like someone's childhood. So I think that's a pretty good sign that we're in the right direction. So I just want you to kind of notice. Ashley, let's zoom. I don't know how close we can get, but you want to see like little bubbles kind of coming up to the surface. So you don't want it to be at a rolling boil. It doesn't even have to be at like a gentle simmer. Just as long as you kind of see some little bubbles like blurp up every now and then, we're good to go. We'll say this, you're gonna see in a lot of stock recipes online that, never bring it to a boil, that's bad. You're not supposed to bring it to a boil or keep it at a boil, but I can promise you that like on 100 different occasions, I've forgotten about it and come downstairs and it's boiling like crazy, and you know what, it's always fine. So if it does accidentally boil and you walked away from it, you didn't ruin it, I promise. We could also, at this point, there's nothing to skim, but that's another kind of fallacy that you need to skim every hour. That is like way too much work for me. So I usually, if there's some funky stuff on the top, I just swirl it back in. So we'll check back in a couple more hours. Okay, so we're doing a little check-in right now. I think it's been about 3 hours. And the smell is making Ashley and I so crazy that we decided we needed some lunch. So we did a little side hustle over here, and I decided to make some chicken noodle soup with our homemade stock. And I also thought it'd be actually a really good opportunity to show you just how easy it is to be lazy with this, I guess. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna look in, this is already after 3 hours, looks incredible. And I didn't mention earlier that it's important with the chicken that you use that you're using bones. You cannot make a good stock with chicken breasts, with like boneless chicken breasts or boneless chicken thighs. The chicken bones are what give you all the the gelatinous texture. Great word. Makes it all thick and jelly-like, and that's where you get all its color. So you gotta use bones, whether it's you buy a pack of thighs on sale with the bones, or you buy some wings or some necks. Again, the rotisserie chickens are so great because that's bones. So I'm just gonna ladle some. I just sauteed some carrots and some celery in my pretty little stove. And I never actually use the recipe for chicken noodle soup. I just use some stock, use some veggies, use some chicken, use some noodles, call it a day. But if you've got homemade stock, your chicken noodle soup is already gonna be just the best thing in the world. And I also cook my noodles directly in the stock. So as you can see, I'm not like pouring this through a cheesecloth. Oopsie. I'm just ladling it right out. I don't care if there's some pieces of parsley in there. Like, who cares? All right, I'm spilling a lot. All right, maybe one more ladle full. Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna keep on going, cook this for another couple of hours. But honestly, like the color that it is right now is already amazing. I could even put in some more water since I just took some out and let that keep cooking. It's just never ending and always changing. It's the circle of life. Full of them. All right. Okay, it's the moment we've all been waiting for, folks. It's time to watch Neely make a mess. So we have our amazing stock that's depleted a little bit because we made our yummy chicken noodle soup that you saw a glimpse of a second ago. So what I'm gonna do to strain this, a lot of people will say that you have to strain stock through a cheesecloth. That's my worst nightmare. The cheesecloth, you have to cut it, you have to fold it, you have to arrange it all properly, and half the time it like falls into the soup. I don't know, maybe it doesn't do that for you, but it does it for me, so I hate it. So all I use is a fine mesh sieve. I pour it through into another stock pot. If you don't have another stock pot, you can pour it into another bowl. Get creative, but I do have 2 stock pots. So let's do this. Oh gosh, it's heavy. So far, so good. Look at this. I'm a natural. Oh. This is my arm workout for the day. Oh. Getting a little dodgy here. Oh. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and call this massive success. All right. So what I do, because this is sort of a hot mess to get rid of, is I always save some plastic grocery bags. I use my own grocery bags, but I do like to keep a few plastic ones around for weird things like disposing of chicken stock. So I usually just double bag a plastic grocery bag and just put this all in that, tie it up in a knot, and then put it in the garbage bag. I just don't try to just dump this straight into your garbage can. Just trust me when I say really, really bad, stinky, messy things happen. So, plastic bags. So here we have got our beautiful strained stock. So you could just throw this in the fridge after a couple hours. I would usually let this cool for a few hours before you refrigerate it because you don't want to drop your refrigerator temperature too much. So never put just boiling hot stock in there. And I'm also going to show you a couple of ways that you can prepare it for freezing it. We will get our ladle. Okay. So one way is called deli containers. If you work in the restaurant world, you're pretty familiar with these. You can also find these at the deli section of your grocery stores, like at the Olive Bars. You can get them online at Amazon. You can get all different sizes. I usually get the assorted pack because sometimes I like to do the little small serving sizes. This little size or this little size, because sometimes you just need a little bit of stock. Sometimes you need more stock. You can even get the tall ones. So these freeze beautifully. Don't fill them all the way up. Leave a little bit just because they are going to expand when they freeze. And they just stack really nicely in the freezer. And then the other way is Ziploc bags. This could be messy, Ashley.
Oh God.
So use a freezer bag, please. This is not a freezer bag, but we didn't have anything else. But I still want to show you how to do it. So, oh
God.
I'm gonna stick it in there. Fold it over to act as a set of hands. Ladle.
Disaster waiting to happen.
Such a disaster waiting to happen. Okay. I'm gonna just like close most of that. Shimmy out of here. All right, what I like to do is get it almost closed and then burp the air out so that you can freeze it flat like this. And then you just keep filling up the bags and stacking them on top of each other. What I'll usually do is get a sheet pan and then stack them on the sheet pan, freeze that. Once they're frozen solid, you pull the sheet pan out and these just stack like little books. So this is definitely the most efficient way to freeze them. But again, the deli containers are awesome too. And now you know how to make effortless stock. I will put some notes and directions in the comments, just if you have any questions. But let us know, and we hope you start making stock and never buy the box stuff again.